So, this webinar series is about what it means for a business to be revenue rich and profit poor. What are some of the major causes? And then, how can a business fix that issue or make sure that they're just not going to run into it in the future? So, to kick us off, can you tell us, Rob, just a little bit about what it means for a business to be revenue rich and profit poor?
Well, obviously, it means that the company's selling, it has good sales, it has good customers, it's turning out from a standpoint of service and product. It's just that when you get to the bottom line of what's being kept in the business, that is not quite the number that would be expected or wanted.
Perfect. Okay, so let's tackle our first main cause, poor billing cycles, which is a great place to start because it just helps us identify where some of those issues are. So when you're meeting with a client and you want to determine whether or not they're having issues with billing cycles, what are the first signs that you're looking for?
And I think one of the things that can be looked at, as we talk about from that standpoint, relative to cash, relative to that, is invoicing and invoicing cycles. Point being, from the standpoint of when a product or service is delivered or is completed with a customer or a client, how long does it take from the standpoint of an invoice getting to that customer or client? What's happening internally? How transparent and how quickly and easily is the information relative to that, relative to the pricing that was on that particular project or job flowing through? Does it, after it being done, needs to be evaluated, needs to be priced by a sales department or buyer's department before it gets to accounting to invoice, or was it something already preset within a contract? And if it is already preset, is that information readily available to those that are doing the invoicing or doing the billing to access quickly, or is it something that has to be released or provided or given to them?
Gotcha. So when you do run into a client who is having some issues with billing cycle, what's the first strategy that you recommend they take in order to start to resolve that?
Well, so it kind of goes back to kind of understanding the process and knowing the flow as to what's occurring and what's happening or what has to be done. I think a lot of it does definitely go to the information that is being received and how quickly is information passing through. Is, for example, what was the price for that particular client, that particular project already preset from a contract standpoint, then it should be readily available, or was it not preset? Was it still for some reason being negotiated? Where is that information? Was it in systems in the business easy for all to see it and to access and to know, or does it still have to be entered or released or have to be provided or filled out, say from a sales department standpoint for accounting or in financial side to invoice in the process?
Let's say a business isn't having any issues with billing cycle yet, but they don't really have a strategy or process in place. Is there any step that you would recommend they take just to make sure that they don't develop issues down the line?
Exactly. I mean, controls and processes, and even to a standpoint, scorecards and goals of what's going on are important, and definitely will avoid it. I think there should be probably internal goals from the standpoint of how quickly they want or business wants an order to be completed from the standpoint of once it's delivered to when it's invoiced. Be that 24 hours, be that 3 days, be that 7 days. There should be that standard there, and then it also needs to be tracked and followed as well to know whether you're on course or off course. Or what's occurring with that and what needs to be corrected.